Boys Becoming True Men, the cornerstone for humanity. That's Jason. He doesn't want an introduction. I'm just going to say, just Jason. Welcome to our Real Men stage, Jason.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great because you're here. But the first thing I'm going to say is Happy Father's Day. This is number one for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's my very first one. Yeah. I will go ahead and let the audience know that I have a migraine right now. So I'm in the process of I might not be as fast as I usually am, but I'm here. That's what matters.
And guess what? We'll just go ahead and do that acupressure point right here and squeeze it until it really really hurts. And when it hurts so bad, then guess what? You're concentrating on this. I believe, and the migraine goes away. That's my very best tip. But I'm glad that you're here. You just show up for so many of us. So take us a little bit through the Jason story. And I'm once again, as you reemerged into our lives, as you knew that we were going to Aruba and you knew about the quantum piece here. And of course, Jason's in the movie, in the Art of Manifestation movie. And it was his and Jeremy's spa being the quantum spa that we were there for uh, our, our beautiful, beautiful, private viewing. But just take us through your story a bit, Jason.
Well, I came to Earth like everybody else, and my purpose here was just to help people and help people through this next transitional phase that's about to, well, we're already technically in the transitional phase, but you guys can probably feel that these last few weeks have been very different than the weeks that you've ever lived your entire life. No matter how old you are, you've never
Yes.
experienced it. Even in harmonic convergence, you guys didn't experience this. So what you're experiencing now, what literally happened on the new moon was 108,000-year-old gate opened, and a very strong 6-second blast of information came through that is rewiring our entire anatomy, our brain, every aspect of us. And so what does it mean to be aware? What does it mean to be whole? What does it mean to be here right now in this moment? And I think that that's what's more important than my story or the things that I've done. But I'm open to whatever questions you have, Jody. But that particular point, I think, is
Oh, yes.
important to understand and acknowledge. Is like right now, people are struggling because they got a view of something that they didn't remember, and it's causing a lot of back and forth in their brains. And we've seen some pretty intense stuff going on because of it. So I want to honor that. If you're one of those people out there that is struggling and going through stuff right now, just know that these energetic waves and the massiveness of what's happening, it already happened, and now we're in the reverberation period. So this is like the aftershock period of that phase. So it's really important for you guys out there. The hard part's over. Now we're in the aftershocks.
Well,
Okay.
and the aftershocks, and yes, I can truthfully say I really felt it on the new moon. It's like, whoa! I'll tell you, I'm never. I sleep like a rock. Didn't that day?
Yeah.
Didn't that next night after that, as well. So glad that there was behind the scenes on StreamYard. They said improve my appearance. I was glad for that. I was glad for that. But I'm so grateful that, I mean, I love your story in HealthAPedia, our first book on, and we've got a little bit of this, but I really want to delve into. I just feel compelled because your quote. I mean, the way that you met your divine partner, and how you met Jamie, yes, another J, and whatever. And your quote, I've given you credit for it, and I always will, but this says it all. And I've left it. I love giving hints away when I give gifts. I was really tempted before you got on here, but I saved it because I really wanted this to be your time. Men are rock, women are water. Together, they create the ocean.
I
Give
feel
it.
like, yeah, that is literally one of the most important things for men to realize is like, oh, a woman is gonna sand you down, but it's a
Yes, we
good
do.
thing each time that that interaction occurs, it's going to start sanding down those layers and it's going to start to make dust. But you are actually greater than the rock. You just start out as the rock. So I would say more like the boy is the rock, right? Because a real man, when they actually are who they are, they don't have to be a rock anymore. They're just all the pieces. They're the sand kind of thing in a lot of ways. Because they've been, life has taken the time and it has worn them down through the experience. And usually it's women that do that. Not to say that women are negative in any way, shape, or form, because it's actually what they're supposed to do. Their emotions and their energy that they hold is sacred and powerful. And because of that, it actually balances out the equation. And so what happens is kind of like a spiritual sanding. And as that happens, we are sanded down. All the layers that are not real within us, they're taken off of us. And it goes back and forth because we're mirrors for each other. What I've noticed in my marriage, which I think is really, really helpful, is like what I'm going through, Jamie's also going through, but from a different angle. And so when we start to communicate, we actually start to bring ourselves back to that center point, because neither of us are right, but there is truth. And that's the key, right? So we each have our own perspectives, but there is truth. And if you can just take that moment to actually be like, okay, I know that I'm not right, and I know that you're not right, but I know that we are close to right. Let's come to the truth and actually take that minute to put that in there. Then you will find that the sanding down process doesn't become excruciating as a man, but rather it becomes empowering, because you are designed to be more than just a rock.
Yes, and my saying in our marriage with Bob, I said, do we want to be right or in relationship?
Yes, exactly. That's a great way to describe it, because righteousness is one of those things that we get really stuck up on. It's like, oh, I'm right. I've got to do this is wrong. That's a fixed thing, right? Because the truth can never be spoken. It can only be heard in the silence, which means that anytime I speak, I'm speaking my truth, not the truth. And that is such an important thing to understand. If we could just understand that the moment that we speak, we are no longer speaking the truth, but a truth, or a part of the truth.
Yes.
We could immediately start to take things less personal, because our filter is our filter. We only know what we know. And if you can acknowledge that, man, the growth that occurs immediately after is insane. And that's my hope for like all men in the world, is to just realize that one little thing. You're not right, but you are learning. And if you don't have to have the righteousness on you, and you don't carry that righteousness, and you just are open and you're listening and you're observing and you're learning, then you're going to be an incredible man. And that's what a true man is. That vulnerability too is a key component, but that only comes when the ocean is starting to form. You will feel it too. It'll be like a whole wave of experience, which is why I say that together we're the ocean, because the waves start happening. Once you're sanded down and you can't tell where you are and where she is, and that mixture of life, and it's just moving, you're waving together, and you're waving together in such a way that it's beautiful, it's magical. You can surf it or you can drown under it. And that process of communication is what's going to bring you, whether you're surfing or drowning under it. And I think that that's also another important thing, is communication.
Beautiful. And that I've never been a surfer, but I've done a tad bit of a lot of open water swims. And the one thing you don't do, as opposed to being in a pool, you swim above the wave. You swim above the wave. And I love your title. Love your title, Divine Oneness. and that is, of course, you've got to go ahead and buy the book. You can buy it early. You can go ahead and get it autographed by all of us that are locally, or whomever. But we'd love to autograph a copy of you. You can go to HealthAPedia 365, and we'll make sure that you get an autograph signed copy by as many of us as possible. However, when they come to Kauai, right? When they come to Kauai to our HealthAPedia retreat, what a better reason to come to Kauai than to get an autograph by Jason? So, but we're going to have an amazing time. We really went through that earlier on because it is such a quantum experience. I mean, your intention, because the video still says "see you in Brazil," but when you sent me that text, and I texted Jim, we didn't even talk about it as partners. It's Kauai. We just knew because of the intention. Your intention on everything you do is we all have that one of a kind, but it is extraordinary, and I want to honor you for that. And I hope that just my frequency and helping you, that the migraine is dissipating a little bit, and that kind of thing. But I know from the standpoint of divine oneness, you weren't expecting to meet your life partner. At least get a little bit of story, but we're not going to tell you the whole thing because it's an absolute, it's an absolute story like none other. One of those that is a made for Hallmark movie, and whether it is or not, but it truly is. So make sure that, and know that when you purchase any of our books, that a portion goes back to feeding the hungry children. This time it'll be in Miami. So go ahead and just take at least last a few minutes before I bring Dr. Jim, and we get this as a wrap, that you go ahead and just speak to that time that you met and were attracted and to your divine partner, if you wish.
Yeah, I mean, when I met Jamie, it was an instant thing. There was no doubts, there was no questions. It was like the whole world felt like a hallucinogen, basically. I don't know how to describe it. Like, it was like as if you took mushrooms, like the dimensionality of everything changed and shifted. And I was like, whoa, this is new. And for her, it was the same. And that experience, that level of unlocking was so intense that we actually had to like go in ground and like actually like take care of ourselves in a way that was very different because it was so intense. And I think it's important to understand that like when you really truly meet, there is no question around divine partnership. But I also think it's important to understand that the process to divine partnership is the sanding down, right?
Yes.
So experiencing, understanding, learning, sharing, opening, like being yourself in this world is how that happens. And then magnetics occur. So while there is divine partnership and there is only one person for you on this planet, in my belief personally, there are hundreds of thousands of people that will help you find that one person. And I think that that's another important thing. But one thing that I said, and I have said in the book as well, that I really wish that I had not had sex before marriage, because I understand how big that is now.
That's for the young men. I want you to repeat this. This is for the young men, please. Repeat that.
The sex before marriage thing aspect of it, like you can get to know a person so much deeper without bringing your sexuality into it. It's very, very important. Like, don't waste that. Hold that, contain that, strengthen that, empower that. That's your creativity as a man. You can like expand that into a whole nother level. And then when you find your actual divine partner, the real one, the one that you know is, you can share that with them. And it's truly magical. And I wish that I had known that when I was little and capable of doing it, but I didn't, right? And that's something that now that I have what I have, I can see it so clear. But you don't see that when you're little. You don't know these things. So
No.
hopefully this message reaches some of you out there that are still in that first phase, like just wait. It's worth it. All the stuff that people talk about like not being good enough for them, none of that is real with a divine partner. With a real divine partner, you guys communicate, you guys work together. It's like a perfect dance. I can't even begin to describe it to you, but it's beautiful and it's amazing and truly, truly, truly amazing. So
Oof. Speaking of amazing, the words that come out of your mouth always are amazing. The words that come out are just so deep. And I know we were trying to get your audience on this live broadcast, but you can go with. I will share it to your page and see this and see you and him there, and it will be amazing. So for sure. So take a few minutes of anything else that you just want to inspiringly share, because obviously you'll be in the spiritual pillar, and I would just love to hear. So the next 3 or 4 minutes is yours. Just take it away, Jason.
okay, well, I mean, the most important thing I would say for a man right now in this moment is to look around yourself and ask, what actually do I actually enjoy about the things around me? Like, ask yourself, literally, look in your room, wherever you are right now, look at everything and actually see whether you bought that because you wanted to buy that, or because you were trying to flex, or because you were trying to show yourself something that you weren't. Like, all those things, right? Because believe it or not, and here's the fun part of this game, every aspect that you built around you that is your persona, that is not you, is actually keeping her out. So be aware of that. So when you look around and you're like, well, I'm wearing these things that are uncomfortable, I'm doing this thing that doesn't make sense, like all those things, start to catch those things and start to dismantle those things. Because your scent, not cologne, your scent, your clothing, your style, all of those things, when you're in your authentic expression, is actually what is going to bring everything together. It's not about tricking them into loving you. It's about loving you enough that it naturally comes together. And I think that that's one of the most important distinctions that we can make right now, especially in this dating world. The more that I see in the dating world, the more I'm confused I get. It's like we're always constantly doing something in order to
Checking
attract.
likes, doing this, how many
Yeah.
people can I tag, or any of that
Yeah.
superficial? Yes.
So the key is really just be you. Be fully 100% you. Wear what you want to wear. Feel what you want to feel. Build what you want to build. And all of those things will naturally bring something to you. That's how it works. But we were taught the opposite. We were taught that if we put cologne on, that we can get the right partner. We were taught that if we shave our faces, we can get the right partner. We were taught that if we wear a suit, we can get the right partner. We were taught all these things, right? And I'm not saying that suits and shaving and all these things are wrong. I'm saying, ask, is it for you to do this?
Right.
Do you actually want to do this? Like, talk to your body, get to know who you are as well, right? Because most of us think we are our body, but we're not. We're the spirit, and the body is part of our process, but we are in communication. So take that time to really find out who you actually are. And I'm going to tell you this is, if you're new to this, if you just met me for the first time, this might be a little bit groundbreaking for you, and it might just be like, it's too much. You can do it in stages. So take one room of your house and just go into it, just one room, and look at around and just see, what did I actually buy for me that I actually want, and what did I buy for others? And that's it. Simple. Doesn't take much. Look at your clothes. What did I buy for me? What did I buy for others? Just keep going through that. Just very simple, slow steps, right? You don't have to do it all at once. This is not one of those, oh, I have to purge everything, because it's too much. Don't do that to yourself.
And you know why this
By
works?
step
You
by
know why
step.
you know why this works? Because my nose started itching like crazy every single time that something's authentic, because it's designed to my pineal gland. My nose was itching like crazy when you said that.
It's your sphenoid.
Yeah.
Sphenoid is what actually interprets reality. And so whenever that happens, you have electricity run directly through into the pineal. But the sphenoid is the butterfly, the bone, like it's your transformation thing. But anyway,
Yeah.
So as light runs through us, we begin to naturally emanate light. And the things that stop us from emanating light is when we do something for others that is not for ourselves. Now, I want you to hear me when I say this, because there's nothing wrong with doing things for others. But we do things for others from our overflow. When we are filled, we naturally overflow into others. And if we do that, it's completely different. But if you're choosing your clothes for another person and how they will think about you, if you're choosing your cologne because of another person and how they will think about you, if you're doing any of these things, as a man, I would highly recommend that you stop and actually think about, do I want my divine partner or do I want a person? Because you can easily get a person. I mean, they've built so many things in chemicals now that you can actually pretty much attract a person and make them into something, right? But that's not actually what God wants for you. So if you want what God wants for you, start to become you again, and the rest will naturally happen. It's insane how fast it will happen, actually.
Well, and I will say that is a beautiful stopping point. We're going to wind things up by saying thank you. Thank you. Thank you. A beautiful stopping point. I just got the news that Dr. Jim has to leave at 5:15. So we got to wind this thing up, because we got to talk this was perfect. Jason, thank you for what you do for all of us, but thank you most of all for who you are. All right. So I will say, just enjoy the rest of your evening. Happy Father's Day for your weekend. What an amazing time.